In this lecture, I will briefly introduce some of the concepts associated with spatial data analyses, and these are the concepts we are going to encounter mostly throughout this course. Since this is an intermediate level course in spatial data analyses, I expect you to be familiar with concepts such as geographical or spatial data and the spatial data types. So just to refresh, what sets spatial data apart from other data are that spatial data have geographic locations associated with them. So each data point has its own unique address, and that allows us to locate it on this earth. And the two most important forms of these coordinates, and these are the two coordinate systems that we are going to work with throughout this course, and these are the ones you're most likely to encounter, are the geographic coordinate systems or decimal degrees. And since the decimal degrees, they came about because the earth is a sphere and they are measured in angular terms, and that may not be appropriate for all situations. So sometimes decimal degrees, they have to be projected into a linear form, in this case UTM, so that we can measure things like distances in meters. And this is the upshot of geographical or spatial data, that essentially you will be working with data that have coordinates associated with them. So they're either going to be lat-long coordinates or UTM coordinates in meters. The three main spatial data types that are most frequently encountered, and these are the data types that we will work with, are raster, shapefile, and point data. Actually, point data can also be considered a part of vector data, but it's just that their usages are pretty diverse, and we are going to cover different applications and processings of point data and different applications of shapefile or vector data. So I've just put it in a separate category. Raster data are image data, and they usually have extensions such as TIFF, IMG, raster, basically anything related to a photo, and they are best for representing continuous values such as elevation. Shapefile and vector data are used for representing features such as outline of a country or a road. And point data are basically attributes that we measure at a given XY or at a given geographical location. In order to create these data, essentially you need to run around recording information, say rainfall at different locations, and that is how you will create point data. And these are typically stored in comma separated value files or text files. And this is just the end of the theory, and I'll quickly take you to Google Earth to just demonstrate the point. And essentially what you see here are the coordinates. Basically every point is going to have its own unique coordinates. So let us just see. Now this point has its own set of latitude, longitude coordinates, and these are in decimal degrees because this is a geographic coordinate system and it is represented in terms of